Hey, what's up guys, Josh's Boost here and welcome back to another Digimon gameplay video. Today I have a match from locals. We have Peter on the left and he's actually playing something like an anti-meta Blackwargreymon Gaiomon deck, which of course I'm a very big fan of. And then on the right we have Edwin playing Hydramon Bloomlord, Bloomlord Hydramon, whatever you want to call it. The matchup's pretty 50-50. I want to say, like on one hand, on the clapback, Blackwargreymon has a really easy time outing the Bloomlord Hydramon field, especially the build that Peter is playing, as you'll be seeing. However, the Pomemon, which we see in the raising of Edwin right now, is pretty much a hard counter to the Gaiomon Blackwargreymon deck, since you can just suspend the Pomemon with one of your effects to suspend their Blackwargreymon or Gaiomon, and then hopefully run over it with the Bloomlord. Or even like go for game, because if their Blackwargreymon is suspended, it obviously won't be able to double block. So it both kind of hard counters each other, which is weird. But we'll see how the matchup plays out. I do think that Hydramon Bloomlord has a quite the easier time to actually set up, and does so a lot faster. So it can really out tempo the Blackwargreymon deck. Like before they even get to the stack, you can potentially have so many Digimon to attack for game. But we'll see what's going to happen in this one. For now, it's looking quite good. For both sides, I want to say Peter has a Greymon setup in the front with Agumon and Agumon X antibody under it, and Nokia's setup as well. Not sure why he decided to not tap the Nokia here to pass Edwin to 1. Seems like that would have been the play, but who knows. Edwin going to go into Red Veggie and then Digizorb into Blossomon, which is one of the best cards in the Bloomlord deck, I think. I actually saw one of the lists that topped, or maybe even one of the Ultimate Cups this past weekend, played double Blossomon, which I thought was interesting. And here we see another Pokemon come down. However, each Pokemon we see come down, or EX3 Pokemon I should say, come down early game means it won't be able to be used in the late game, because of course it is quite the sitting duck for EX8 and Metal Greymon. And Edwin decides to pass turn here by Samada Santi on the Greymon. We see him draw a card here for the inheritable of Sunflowermon, I think. No, for Gummymon, sorry, yeah, for Gummymon. There was no Sunflowermon. Of course, Greymon can't unsuspend, and we see another Black Greymon come down. Sorry about the glare, by the way, it's only in the raising though, luckily. But yeah, that's EX8 Virus Greymon in the raising. And slowly starting to look better for Edwin, especially now that he has the hidden potential, because we all know that card is absolutely bonkers, suspending the Pomu here to basically evolve to Bloomlord for 0 and then gain 2 memories. So it's basically evolves for +2, which is quite crazy. And since 2 Digimon were suspended, it will also get piercing, right? And now it's going to be able to piercing, double check with 14k, I think, over the Black Greymon. So double check here. And there shouldn't be anything in security that's bigger than Bloomlord, because I think Peter told me he's not playing like any Omnimon or any of the sort. Whereas personally, I played this deck, the Blackwargreymon deck, at the best European Ulti Cup, and I actually played double Omnimon X antibody, which I think, the old one, not the new one, because it makes your matchup against Grandis and Metagarumon a lot better. If anybody's interested on like a deck profile for that, then be sure to let me know. But yeah, this should be Bloomlord's game, right? I mean, usually when the Blackwargreymon stack gets out, the game is pretty much over, and Bloomlord doesn't quite have game on board yet. And I guess potentially there could be a clapback from Blackwargreymon next turn, because yeah, I guess if this Pokemon survived, then potentially it could have been game. But yeah, odds were it didn't, right? We also see Peter has the Crimson Blaze in hand, which at this point won't be doing that much, but it's definitely a very strong card in this matchup, of course. But yeah, there is a Black Greymon in the back. Okay, Hydramon is being hard played here. Let's see, he could. He has 4 memory to work with. Okay, reduces the cost of Metal Greymon. So if he has Metal Greymon, he could go Metal Greymon, tap Nokia, go to 1, D-Digivolve Bloomlord, I guess. He does hit the Metal Greymon X here from Cool Boy, but I don't really see how that's gonna help him. Yeah, honestly, I don't think there was an out to begin with. Whatever he did, he's just going to swing here with the Blackwargreymon, and yeah, he's just going to concede, obviously. Honestly, I don't think there was any line to win. Like, maybe if he had, like, Metal Greymon and Blackwargreymon and double, what's it called, win rate 60%, then he could have won. But that's a lot of cards, specific cards as well, he would need to get back into the game. So yeah, Bloomlord kind of doing what I said at the start of the match, where just kind of outpaced Blackwargreymon. But we'll see if he can do it again. Yeah, you got one into Pokemon and then just playing Green Memory Boost, so I would say a decent start for Bloomlord, adding Palmon, which is another searcher, so he will definitely be able to dig for his pieces. Palmon being able to add the vegetation and the fairy. So pretty much anything in the deck, and Bloomlordmon. Cormon being hedged here, and then it actually looks like Peter doesn't have a rookie, and he decided not to mulligan, if I remember correctly. Which is interesting, I guess. The rest of his hand seems to be win rate, Greymon X antibody. I couldn't quite see the rest, but I would say it's a pretty ballsy move to keep this hand. Like, even if he has the stack of Metal Greymon, Blackwargreymon, he will have to give Edwin a lot of memory. And potentially, you know, he could just out-stack with some Pokemon EX3 shenanigans. But we'll see. He's going to go into the Greymon X antibody here. It doesn't even look like he has the Metal Greymon from BT8, right? If I'm seeing it correctly. I guess you could potentially go up into the Greymon X antibody. Decided not to just place the Agumon, and he did pick up a rookie for turn, so probably with that draw he drew the Agumon, or with the Greymon X antibody draw, I guess. But yeah, not looking too good for him here. Especially if Edwin has something like Blossommon and Bloomlordmon, then it's looking quite rough for him. Even though he won't be able to out his deck, I don't think, if he does have those cards. Going into Hydramon here. Yeah, I don't think there's a line where he outs the Greymon. Is there? Going to tap the Palmon here to activate the Hydramon effect, and going to play out a Mushroomon. Then if he has Hydramon here, he can tap his own. Yeah, that doesn't accomplish anything. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to out the Greymon here. He's going to tap it though, and then gain 1 memory because the Palmon is suspended. And you will gain 1 memory every time a Digimon is suspended. 1 memory for each suspended vegetation, I think it is. Vegetation, plant, etc. He actually decides to just tap 2 of his own guys here. And then gain 2 memory for the when Digivolving effect, I think, of the Hydramon. And then he also gains 1 memory for Hydramon, which says if one of your guys is suspended, you gain 1 memory, inheritable. So yeah, I think that's it, but another crazy powerful play. Peter is just going to not promote this guy, and then he's going to swing at security with the Agumon. I actually lose 2 memory because that's what Hydramon does, since there's 2 suspended vegetation plants, whatever. He will lose 2 memory when he suspends a guy, but then he's going to play Crimson Blaze for 3, which is quite strong, I have to. It's not even that powerful, to be honest, because like it does out the field, but no. I changed my mind again. It is powerful because, of course, in the current game state with just the Hydramon on field, Edwin would be able to do any shenanigans anyway. However, if both the level 3s would remain on the field, then that would be set up to do some cool Bloomlord stuff, right? So yeah, Crimson Blaze, pretty strong card there. Definitely a very good deck for the current format, I think. And then Memory Boost coming down here. And choking Peter to 1 with the Vegemon. But we'll see what Peter is going to do with the 1 memory. He does have access to the Cool Boy, so I guess if he has, like, we see he's looking at win rate here, so if he has Agumon X antibody, he could promote the guy, going to Agumon X antibody, gain 1 memory. But yeah, that's apparently not going to happen. He's just going to play the Greymon there. So, yeah, looking quite good for Bloomlord, even though I do have to say, after the big board is cleared, and there's not that much setup, it's looking kind of lackluster. Like, Hydramon doesn't... It's annoying, I guess, for the suspension effect, Like when your opponent suspends a guy, they lose a memory. That's annoying when you're playing against it. But it's not like threatening multiple security checks or anything like that. You can just play around it by not suspending your guys, right? Especially if your opponent doesn't have the setup. And then, this is quite lucky, I think. The Hydramon has 13,000 DP and hits into Gaiomon in security here. So suddenly, it's actually kind of good for Peter. Even though, yeah, Edwin can go Hydramon to play something out and then potentially build up a new stack with like Bloomlord or Hydramon. Even though we did see Sunflowermon in his hand, so maybe that's the play, right? Play out the Pokemon, then go to Sunflowermon to go even wider. And then next turn going to Bloomlord for like a bigger push. However, we do know, of course, that Blackwargreymon has quite the easy time getting rid of smaller Digimon. So I get why the Sunflowermon play maybe wasn't the way to go. And he's just going to play down the Hydramon here. And then gain a bunch of memory basically on the evolve. And also for the Agitar. Inheritable. Putting Peter to 2. However, with the win rate, 2 is enough for him to actually start doing quite good stuff. Win rate is like the best card in the deck. Like no cap. Actually is. He's going to promote his Greymon here. Going to Greymon X antibody, so it's even better. He's going to draw another card and gain another memory. And then if he has something like... we know he has win rate, so if he has Metal Greymon and then something like Gaiomon, that could definitely out the entire field here. So he's going to de-digivolve the Hydramon, which is nice, and then delete the Pokemon. And now if he has Gaiomon, he can swing over the Agitar, and it's looking really good for him. Going to be digging a little deeper, going to the Greymon X antibody here. Or not dig a little deeper, because I think you forgot a draw there. Or maybe I just missed it. But yeah. Oh, he does have the Gaio already, so... I guess he's just going super aggro here and go for the security. TDH of the Veggie, yeah, because there is a black source, and then he can go for triple security check. Because Gaio does have security check +1, and then it has another extra security check from the Metal Greymon X antibody. So this really forces Edwin to deal with both the stacks on this turn, and he has just the Vegemon on the field. I guess if he has another Agitar, then... No, I honestly don't think there is a way for him to do this without the assist of something like Grandel Soul, for example. And even if he has... Yeah... No, this is rough, right? Because the Gaio is blocker as well, so... Looking really good for Gaio. I don't really see a way out here for Edwin. Going to play down the red Vegemon. Go to another Blossom to dig a little bit deeper. It wouldn't surprise me if you just see the scoop coming here. Because, yeah, we see he has like Bloomlord in hand, but it doesn't really accomplish anything, right? I don't even think there's like blockers in the Bloomlord deck at all. So going to Bloomlord here, he's going to be able to gain 2 memory, and then nothing, right? That's just going to be game. So actually, Peter tying the score after a hard playing that Blackwargreymon on turn 1. And going into game 3. I think that Edwin will probably decide to go first, because Bloomlord is like, I think I've talked about it before, but I think Bloomlord is like one of the only decks that actually wants to go first. Both deciding to not go for a mulligan here. And Edwin just starting out by going to Pokemon and hard playing Mushroomon. So it seems to be lacking a level 4 here. Or maybe he just has Sunflowermon, that's a possibility as well, right? And then actually we see Peter again not having a level 3. Just going to play down the Deltamon. And this is like one of the first things we see from his more anti-meta approach. I do know he's also playing Megadramon. And he's just playing the Deltamon. So it's like a build we saw a little bit at the start of BT10 format. Because it counters Crossheart really well. But it's also really good against this matchup, right? Because if you have your dual color Digimon, when you swing, Deltamon is basically able to delete 2 of your opponent's Digimon on swing. In this matchup, because all the guys are really small. You can delete one with 3000 or less, I believe. And a lot of the level 4s are 3000 as well in the Bloomlord deck, so you can really clear like entire boards when you're swinging with your, even like with your Metal Greymon. which is why I said that the match was pretty good. He also has 2 memory now, which means he will be able to evolve into a dual color for 2 and keep turn. And we see him, D-Digivolve the Sunflower here, get rid of the Pomu, and how he can potentially attack over the... he also draws a Rookie here, so that's nice. And now he could attack over Mushroomon, or I think we see Gaiomon, which means, yeah, if he goes into it, he can just swing for security, get 2 checks, and then also delete the Mushroomon with the inheritable of Deltamon. Which I do have to admit is a little bit risky. Like, if he hits into a Hydramon, that's rough, because the Gaio doesn't have any boost at this point. However, if it survives, which it does, he's really putting Bloomlord on the clock here. Because Gaiomon does, put up a lot of pressure. And it really looks like Edwin doesn't have the best of hands here. Still no level 4, he's going to pop the boost. And then hard play Blossomon. So yeah, definitely not something you want to be doing. He also has hidden potential though, so even though he doesn't have a level 4, he can definitely do like some stuff here. But I think he's considering that if he wants to evolve into Bloomlord or Hydramon, and I think both of them don't really accomplish that much. I guess Hydramon is better, right? Because it is 13,000 DP. So he won't, like if Peter decides to crash into it with the Gaiomon, both Digimon are gonna get deleted. Where the Bloomlord is 12,000, so Gaiomon could just run over it. So I guess in that sense it's better. However, it's going to gain a memory there also for suspending the Gaiomon. And here I think Edwin makes a little bit of a misplay since he plays the Mushroomon here. However, he doesn't have any rookies in hand, so I think he probably should have passed turn. And then at least next turn he could have, when you hedged, he could have evolved into a Mushroomon to get like another card. Because the Mushroomon on field here doesn't really accomplish anything. If anything, it's just fodder for the Deltamon, right? And there's just 1 memory difference you would have given to Peter, which I don't think in the long run would have mattered. But like even with the Mushroomon on hand, it's looking really bad for Edwin, not gonna lie. Lacking that level 4 is really, really rough. Gaiomon going to swing there. And he actually is able to pass Edwin to 1 memory. And then Edwin's just going to play the red veggie, which he sees too late, obviously. And that's just going to be, at least very likely going to be the game. Unless the security is Grandel Soul or something like that, Samada Sandy, then he has another turn to potentially get into the game. But I'm not even sure if he's playing Grandel Soul. And I think we'll just see Peter go for game here, and that's will be the match. So pretty cool showcase of this cool build of Blackwargreymon Gaiomon. Sadly didn't see all of the cool text that I did see at locals, but yeah, a little bit unlucky for Edwin, but still GG.